let's move on to the freeway level of service. Now, what is a freeway? A freeway is a divided highway with full control of access. So this means full control of access means that there are very limited entrance and exits within the highway. And vehicles coming from the origin to destination is usually running at the maximum speed ever. And usually for a freeway, there are 2 or more lanes for the exclusive use of traffic in each direction. So this is one direction, and then this other part or other side of the highway goes to this direction or southbound. This is northbound and this is southbound. And usually we have uninterrupted flow. Access to and from the freeway is limited to ramp locations, as I mentioned a while ago. Now, opposing directions of flow are continuously separated by either a raised barrier or at grade median or a raised traffic island. This slide shows you the basic segment of a freeway. So there's a segment where 2 or more vehicle flows must cross each other's path, or this is the weaving area. And this part is the basic segment that is outside the influence of an entrance or an exit ramp. And then we have the merge or diverge areas, where these are points on and off ramps where it allows vehicles to join the freeway. The basic freeway segment is typically characterized by 3 main performance measures. And the first performance measure is the density, or this is the passenger car per kilometer per lane. And another one is the speed. This is a mean passenger car speed. And the third one is the volume to capacity ratio. The volume of the cars currently on the highway versus the capacity of the highway itself or the freeway itself. Within a freeway, other concerns are the driver's freedom to maneuver within the traffic stream and proximity to other vehicles. So this one is related to the density of the traffic stream. The density increases as the flow increases up to the capacity of the freeway. Now, when we talk about the density, this is the performance measure used to define levels of service for basic freeway segments. So, in order for you to know what is the level of service of a freeway, then you have to know the current density. So, the measure of the level of service is according to the density in terms of passenger car per kilometer per lane. So, for instance, this is the table that comes from the Highway Capacity Manual. In case of the level of service A, then the density is equal or less than 6.8 passenger car per kilometer per lane. And this increases when the demand exceeds the capacity, that's the density is greater than 28, then the level of service is measured as F. So you will use this table later after calculating the density of a freeway in order for you to determine which level of service the current freeway situation is. Okay, so this slide here shows you the 4 main steps in determining the level of service condition of a freeway. The first one is I have to establish the base conditions and analyze the capacity of the freeway. So after you know the base conditions such as the geometry of the freeway, how many lanes do you have, what's the width of each lane, and so on, and the capacity. Then you can now estimate or measure the free flow speed using a certain formula that was developed. The next is calculate the analysis flow rate and then calculate the service measure and which is the density, and then finally you can use a table or a chart to determine the level of service. So first step, you have to determine the base conditions of the freeway. So usually for a freeway, the minimum lane width is 3.6 meters. And then you have a right shoulder lateral clearance between the edge of the travel lane and the nearest obstacle or object, which you can see, for example, here. This is the shoulder or lateral clearance. Next is you have to know the traffic stream consisting of passenger cars only. So if there are trucks there, if there are other types of vehicles there, then you have to convert them in terms of passenger cars, or we have the passenger car equivalent. And then you have to know as well the number of on or off ramps within the freeway. And then you have to know what is the terrain of your highway. Is it a level terrain with grades no greater than 2%, or it has grade greater than 2%? Or is it in a mountainous area, and so on. And then you have to know the driver population, and usually it's dominated by familiar users on the roadway. And the second step is determining the free flow speed on the freeway. Free flow speed is the mean speed of passenger cars measured under low to moderate flow rates. And there are two methods in determining the free flow speed of the freeway segment. And it can be from the field measurement or the estimation with or using the highway capacity manual guideline. Okay, for freeway segment, the free flow speed can be estimated using this formula. FFS, which is the free flow speed in kilometers per hour, is equal to 121.3 minus, these are some adjustment factors depending on the lane width, the lateral clearance, and the total ramp density. The free flow speed of a freeway can be estimated through this formula. The free flow speed FFS is equal to 121.3 minus the adjustment factor depending on the width of the lane, where you can find it in table 7.2, and then minus the adjustment factor for right shoulder lateral clearance from table 7.3, and minus 7.96 of the total ramp density raised to 0.84. The calculated value of the free flow speed should be rounded to the nearest 5 kilometers per hour. Now, looking at the adjustment factor for the lane width, for example, if you have a lane width of 3.6, then you have to reduce your FFS to 0. If the lane width is 3, then you have to reduce the free flow speed at 10.6 kilometers per hour. So notice that because 3.6 is the standard width for a lane, if you make it smaller, then the free flow speed is adjusted. The lesser the lane width, the lower will be the free flow speed. And this table shows you the adjustment factor for the lateral clearance.